Basically, what we're discussing today is a roadmap of sorts. All marketers and entrepreneurs are at various levels stuck. There's just so much to learn. From beginner to seasoned pro, we're all looking to get better at what we do, and we're always looking for an edge. It's basically our defining characteristic. So, what this course is here to help you do is to locate the resources you need to not only master but dominate your peers at the online marketing stuff, as a lot of people would call it. And by stuff, we mean I'm going to show you something called the digital revenue engine, which is part of our methodology that we've created for Unfunnel for startups and small businesses looking to get off the ground with very little budget.
Conference blocked.
So first off, I'm going to exploit what is wrong with the biggest fad in marketing that seems to never die. And let's hope it stays that way. That way we can keep a competitive edge. First off, it is the marketing funnel, and it's a myth. The sales funnel as a whole is a complete strategic and as a methodology a myth. Now, a few assumptions that it makes. You create a product without asking anyone. You launch it to the masses. From there, you target what piece of the masses actually stayed. You believe you have control of the audience. You can turn them into leads, convert those leads into paying customers. Nobody has control but you. After a sale, the process is over, so that they fall out of a funnel, and that's it. You sold them, good, we're done. And there's also the biggest myth that's a big piece of it that we'll exploit today is more traffic equals more sales. The more you tell, the more you sell. Everybody has heard this at some point. It's an old school lie that's bedded in a myth. The marketing controls its own fate at each step of the marketing funnel is also not true. So with the advent of social shares and peer-to-peer relationships and even customer-driven feedback or customer-driven design, people want products that solve their problems, not marketing that says its products can solve their problems. People are inherently social in nature. They share, discuss, and whether or not you see it, they rate and review your products. So essentially, people can bring people into this so-called funnel at any time. And they can also take themselves out of it and take multiple people out of it. They're influencers. Every person has an influencer. And the biggest margin in business history, realistically, occurs after the initial sale, or Amazon would not exist. So first off, let's exploit the fact that you do not have a traffic problem. I'm about to show you the same system Starbucks and McDonald's have used to corner the coffee and hamburger markets. It's the same system Amazon uses to dominate e-commerce. It's how Best Buy, Beachbody, selling workouts like P90X, and Sports Illustrated have become household names. It works for small and enterprise business levels. It works for mom and pop shops and billion-dollar retailers. It works whether you sell traditional products, digital products, or services. It works because it exploits each and every aspect of an irrefutable law of business growth, and that's the fact that there are only three ways to grow a business. Increase the number of customers, increase the average transaction value per customer, or increase the number of transactions per customer. We call this the digital revenue engine. And he exploits the fact that you might have a business problem, a niche problem, a product market fit problem, a lead gen problem, but you don't have a traffic problem. If I told you each time you get a visitor to a page on your website, you make $10 in profit, do you really think you'd still have problems getting people to that web page? So, what we call this model that we're going over today is the digital revenue engine. Watch this, rewatch this, and watch it carefully. Commit it to memory. It's the stuff they don't teach you in business school. So this flowchart actually outlines every single step of the way. And when you're learning new tactics like Twitter, Google Analytics, or Facebook advertising, you'll need to constantly remind yourself of this process. Otherwise, you're wasting time and money. And there's a warning that comes with this. There's little profit in understanding, for example, pay-per-click advertising or search engine optimization in and of itself. There's enormous profit in understanding how to apply these traffic strategies to the digital revenue engine process. Oh, and here's the pudding. $3.2 million is the least from small to large business. It's the least amount of revenue growth that this is delivered, and it's done it in 6 months or less in the last 3 years of every client I've ever had. So determining step one, product market fit, so knowing your niche. There may be nothing more important than choosing the correct market, simply because every other part of the process is dependent upon having a group of willing and able buyers. No amount of work or luck will help if you don't have a willing and able market. Maybe you've been told that you can build a profitable business around any topic you're passionate about, and you've been told wrong. If there's not a sustainable market for your products and services, all the time you invested in building your business is a complete waste of time. You're just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, so to speak. To confidently build a business around a market, you need to determine whether the market's big enough and whether it's monetizable. To determine if it's large enough, look for 30,000 plus Google searches per month, and I actually have a walkthrough of how to hack the Google Keywords tool in this deck, and there's also a video on YouTube. Look for active blogs, active Facebook pages, active forums, active email newsletters, active associations. To determine if the market is monetizable, look for direct competition. They're doing exactly what you want to do, and that's a good thing. Indirect competition. They're selling to the same market, but don't sell what you do. Look for affiliate offers. Look for advertisers. Look for gurus. Look for very influential people associated with your market. Look for e-commerce sites. These are all rules of thumb, of course. If, for example, you don't find an active forum or your keywords don't add up exactly, you may still have a viable market. So, next we're going to talk about buyer personas. And if you've seen a buyer persona, there's also a video on this. If you've seen how to make a buyer persona, essentially the biggest problem that most people make is the fact that they're looking for a buyer rather than targeting the influencer, which you can much more easily find, define, and market to. So if you are selling wedding dresses, do you really think that your market is a bride? Or would you rather impact Wedding Wire and have Wedding Wire honestly say that you're the best place in the world to get wedding dresses? Because for every single person or every single influencer, there are 100 people. And those 100 people are the influencer of 100 more people. You can define one person, or you can try to define a million. It's up to you. So as far as determining, step 2 would be to choose a traffic source, or what we call a traction channel. Very, very popular book on startups called Traction, written by the founders of DuckDuckGo. It might become a shock to you that you don't have a traffic problem, and this is exactly why. If you sell those wedding dresses and somebody else is a mechanic, do you really think that you're both going to do really well in the same social network? In which case, why are you pushing yourself on Facebook if you are a consultant for logistics strategy? Nobody wants to read it there. Why? I mean, take that logistics strategy, try to put it on Pinterest, see if it works. No. So take the same exact wedding photos in your portfolio gallery and try to put it on LinkedIn. Nope. So you don't use the same channels to market any service. Everywhere has a traction channel. So basically, anybody in the aim of the game basically is to see. Everyone wants to see ROI, and realistically, that's not the case. ROI is not the best metric to measure success of a business. Basically, how much it costs to get you a customer is the measure of success. And you'll be able to pay, if you exploit traction channels, you'll be able to pay more than $10 to get a visitor to that page if you can actually make more than $10 when they hit that page. And by doing that, you're going to need a relevant traction channel, somewhere they already are and somewhere where you can build a model. Somewhere where you can build a reputation, as a matter of fact. Now, actually getting to know your persona, the other piece of why that's really important, we call it website optimization 2.0. If you'll go to a site called survivallife.com, you'll figure out that it is one of the ugliest sites you've ever seen in your life. At the same time, It is one of the most effective sites designed in history, and it makes $8 million a month on one niche, and its own navigation basically is immediately pulling over something that says home, about, contact us, products. If you go into the site, you see do it yourself, you see survival skills, you see reviews, a members area, experts, and then products. There's no contact, there's no about. Realistically, this website can and will outperform everything in its niche just based off the principles that, based off what people are Googling, same with the Google Keywords tool hacking, they already know what people Google most. They know what your competition is, where your competition is the lowest. So basically you can build an entire category around the fact of something that people are looking for and only you're providing the solution to. So the next thing that we would probably need to move into would be product splintering. And here's where I've seen most mistakes made, small to large business. You put up a website, you send somebody to your web page, you share it to social, they come in and they look at your page and they say no, because you've built zero rapport with them. You have no expertise, you're just saying, here's my thing for sale, and someone doesn't want to be sold, they actually want to buy. That's not the minority of customers. That is most of us. Every single one of us will tell ourselves and tell each other, I don't want to buy, or I don't want to sell or be sold something, I want to buy. Telemarketing and door-to-door sales would be all the rave still if this weren't the case. So with product splintering, essentially what you do is you do build a blog, you do build rapport, you build expertise. And before you try to sell anything, you're going to sell them a lead generation offer, or what's called a lead magnet. It's an irresistible bribe that gives a piece of valuable info, something away. It gives something away for free. Not only that, it qualifies where the person is interested. So with Unfunnel, we can find out if someone is interested in social media and email marketing and SEO just off of what offer they bought, like what offer they opt in to get. The next step behind that, you're still not going to sell them your main product. You're going to sell them a tripwire, or what's called a loss leader for old schoolers. A tripwire is basically something that's another irresistible offer given away at a ridiculous price. Sometimes it's free with traditional products. It can be free with shipping and handling. Your objective there is to do step one of business growth. You're going to maximize your number of customers. That's all you're going to do. You're going to maximize the number of people that will pay. And why is this so important? Well, because somebody who is willing to give you their credit card online is 16 times more likely to buy from you than someone who hasn't. 16 times. And essentially a tripwire can be anything. With Unfunnel, it is the 1,500 niches to launch a startup, an entire report on every single thing I just told you guys that you need to do to look when you're looking for product market fit. And it's already there for 99 cents. That is a tripwire. From there, they'll qualify based off a lead magnet what to sell them next. They're telling you, so help them. After you sell a core product, which is an entire concept in itself, or it's an entire course in itself, we have what's called a revenue maximizer. Now, a revenue maximizer, it's pretty easy to figure out what this is because McDonald's, if you look up McDonald's profit margin on a hamburger, it's 0. If you look up Best Buy's profit margin on the TV you purchase from there, pretty close to 0. McDonald's makes most, if not all, of their money on selling you value meals, Happy Meals, fries, Coke. Their margin is huge there. Best Buy at the same time, custom installation and warranties. So at the same time, would you be shocked if I told you McDonald's makes almost no money on the hamburger? It's true. They don't. So putting in some more examples of this, you've probably been told to blog and you've probably been told to put up a subscribe form. And if you've been told that, that's great. And you're also in the vicinity of where you need to be, but you're also losing about 100 times the leads you would have if you look in Unfunnel's sidebar, if you go to unfunnel.com/blog, if you look at the sidebar, that subscribe form has contributed to less than 1% of our leads. Less than 1% of anybody who's opted in. Less than 1. Those offers to the right, those have contributed to 99% or more of our leads. They're more relevant, they're instantly targeted, and every single one of them has a 30% to 50% conversion rate. As a matter of fact, 3 of them that we just launched have over a 50% conversion rate. So moving on beyond that, you have to have a return path. So say you've gotten someone in, they've taken your lead generation offer, they've bought into your tripwire, they've bought your core offer, and then they've bought your revenue maximizer, which can be anything, basically as sold as a service or as any sort of helping hand. How do you get them back? And now that's where it's a lot easier to discuss something that you probably have never heard before, and that is make your customer a partner. So with Unfunnel Pro, for example, and this is just an easily visible example, there are hundreds of examples of what a return path is. You're going to bring someone back in. Did you get this? Did you download this template? Well, all of these templates are available for $1 for the first 30 days with Unfunnel Pro. That person is way more likely than if you told somebody out of nowhere, all of my templates, whatever those are, all of our strategies, whatever those are, all of Erica's dashboards, whatever they are, hey, get those for $1. No, never seen them, never heard them, don't know who you are, not buying from you. A return path that makes them a member and offers them to partner with us. Essentially, if you share anything on Unfunnel as a member, you share 50% of the revenue. At the same time, if you post anything to Unfunnel and contribute, you make 100% of your own revenue. That process has gotten us a lot more attention than anything that we had ever tried to sell. And it should, because it's basically rewarding anybody who wants to move. Anybody who is sick of getting bullied by a corporation or a job that they don't want or just wants to launch a product that they're passionate about. You can test it. We'll give you a place to test it. We'll give you a place to market it. And you'll find out before you launch anything on your own time or your own site what works and what doesn't.